works on fire. McLean and Jackson climbing higher and higher. Travis still chasing Poudre, but Chad's on fire. Mud flies, engines scream. White knuckle drivers chase their dream. Hearts pounding loud and roar. Bob calls it all with a thunderous roar. Steel and speed, the battle is tight. Who will...
There we go. I don't know why that was. It was. Oh, I thought I could hear the racing coming through my headset. I was well confused, but it's because I had my Twitch live and running on the volume. It is BobbethTV is live. You know what that means. I'll get my intro right eventually. We are live with another episode of Mud Mule TV coming your way. As you can see in the background, if you know your tracks, we are currently at Oswego Speedway in Oswego, USA for the limited late models here. Grassroots Racing Series, all part of the Knuckleheadz iRacing League. Tomorrow night we do have the dirt late models again, some big block modifieds. But right now we have limited late model action here at Oswego Speedway. Practice is about 13.5 minutes deep, almost 40 minutes, but a minute remaining as we see there. Chad Puttable, our quick time, 18.219, 18.267 Josh Roberts, Chris Standridge, 18.312, 18.398 and 18.409 for Mikey Mixture and Mike Benitez. That's the top five. Then we've got Jason at Coffee, Randy Dixon, Mike Davis, Dawson Potter, and John Bennett at the top 10. The top 17, Brett Vanderwood, Wayne Bridges, Brian Angel, Richard Jackson, Kelly McKellum, Travis McDonald, and Von Mead. So got a bit of action to come your way today. For those of you that tuned in last night, we had a bit of action last night as well. The debut of the it's Randy, there's Randy, of the 420 Oz Sim Racing League V8 Supercars on BobbethTV. We visited Virginia International Raceway last night, and an hour's worth of racing. It's about 30 something laps. Some great stuff. Some really put me out of my comfort zone massively, just because I don't know road courses that well. Yeah, it was certainly interesting. Let's have a look at some of these cars that are in the pits. There's Chad that put a ball there. Let's see if we can do it in order. Let's see how good I am. All right, so we'll start off with Mike Benitez. There's Mike, and we bounce back to Chad. After that, we do have Mikey Mixter sitting there, Wayne Bridges. Oh, no, it looks like we're kicking over to practice, so that little run has ended. Let's see who's going to be the first guy out there. Once we get the cameras working. There we go. Chris Standridge. Oh, why is qualifying mode not turning on? There we go. Randy Dixon, Mikey Mixter, Chris Standridge, Dawson Potter, all out there on the track. Thanks for the like, Thomas and Josh. Appreciate you guys. Good luck out there, Josh. Good luck to whoever you're here to watch race there, Thomas. Kelly McKellum is sharing the stream as well. Thank you. Oh, I should have started an ad through the thing, so I could have got us through to the end of the broadcast a bit quicker without any commercial breaks, but I didn't do it, so we're here. Right, camera's stuck on Chris. Let's just make sure that is... Oh, no, there we go. Did jump over to my community. Chris Standridge does currently have... Oh, timing tower set up to pop out the times. Let's fix that. I'm sure I don't need to go to the timing tower box anymore. Okay, let's get that going. Hide that. There we go. Awesome. All right, Chris Standridge currently quick timer with the 18.8, 3, 18.57, 18.901, 8. Oh, John Bennett, Chad Puttable jumping up there, having a shot at Chris Standridge's 18.83 with their version of 18.83. 8 and 839. So there's like what's 5 thousandths of a second, 1 thousandth of a second between those three guys. Randy Dixon, 18.857, 18.901 from Mike Denise. Jason Coffey's up there with an 18.907, 18.916. Dawson Potter, 18.960. Travis McDonald, Mike Davis. Mad Dog's got an 18.972, 18.988 for Wayne Bridges. Richard Jackson, Nerd Herd Racing's 19.044, 19.066 for Josh Roberts. Mikey Mixon, 19.162, 19.265 for Brett Vanderwood. Kellen McKellen, 19.286. And Brett Vanderwood's Yoda Outlaws teammate Brian Angel, 19.297. Grab my board up. Before we go to our first grid, looks like we're going to have at least 3 heats tonight. Possibly at both races. Sorry, let me see. Alright, so go to come back to the microphone and get a coughing fit happening. As always, perfectly timed. Alright, heat 1 is lining up. Let's have a look here. Now, we checked out John Bennett is still our points leader. Look for him to be going to rear field at the end of the qualifying heat stages. Not in this heat, though. I don't know why I brought that up. All right, front row will be Chad Puttable and Randy Dixon. Second row is going to be Wayne Bridges and Dawson Potter. Third and final row, Kelly McKellen and Josh Roberts. Excuse me. Hey, Vicky in the YouTube chat. Yeah, Chad having an option here. A shot at the pole position start in our feature race here tonight. Robbo, thanks for the like, brother. Appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Right, we don't have a track map for Oswego, so we're going to have to just play it by ear as we get this 6th lap heat race started. Speedway Racing's Chad Puttable puts that race car into the lead, as is expected when you have the pole position start. Swan past Randy Dixon back there behind him. Dawson Potter, Josh Roberts, Wayne Bridges, Kellen McKellen. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. As we race into the turn. Heat 1 very much going to be follow the leader, much like we're seeing right now. The track will have absolutely no sort of race to it. It'll be quite clunky, quite tacky. Won't really be any sort of opportunities to make anything of it. Randy Dixon, though, is hanging with Chad here as we get the first half of the heat race underway. Sorry, the first half ended. Second half of the heat race underway. 3 more laps remain. Still Chad Woodchuck, Randy Dixon, Dawson Potter, the top 3. Josh Roberts, Wayne Bridges, Kelly McKellen, the back 3, 4, 5, and a 6 car field. That is the white flag lap. Just one more to come. 2-minute long heat races here tonight, it seems. So we should be getting through these ones pretty quickly. As Chad gets the checkered flag there. Randy able to keep up with him for that heat race. But as I say, heat 1, quite a tacky track. So not going to be a lot of opportunity really there for anything until we start getting a little bit deeper into the racing. Results for Heat 1, though, here at Oswego for the Grassroots Racing Series Limited late models here today. Kelly McKellen in 6th, Wayne Bridges 5th, KHR's very own Dawson Potter in 4th, J&J Motorsports driver Josh Roberts in 3rd, Randy Dixon in 2nd, but Dirt Warrior Racing, it takes out the feature pole position start in the Heat 1 win. Chad Woodchuck, congratulations. All right, let's get over to the grid for Heat 2. There we have Chris Standridge and Mike Manise on that front row rolling past the screen cameras there. Von Mead and Travis McDonald. That is that second row. And then there we see the third row. Brian Angel and Mikey Mixter. Same deal. 6 laps, 6 cars. Who will be joining Chad on that outside row. Attaboy getting it done. Does have the sprint cars up next, Vic, after this one. Lanier National Speedway, so that's going to be a good race as well. Looks like Mikey Mixter still in the pits. So just 5 cars out on the track. We'll look to see if Mikey comes out when the race starts. One more time around the track. All right, green flag has gone down. The lights are up. We are racing. I almost quoted going the distance by Kate there. Unintentionally too. Chris Standridge got that low line run. Mike Manise is going to stay up high. That can be a bit of a deadly run if the track starts to come in. It might be a little bit early, but Mike Manise making that work. Travis McDonald, he is also back there in 3rd. Von Mead, Brian Angel, the other 2 cars on the track. Looks like Mikey Mixter, unfortunately, not able to get that car out. Oh, there's been contact between the lead and the 2nd place. Chris Standridge and the 30 of Mike Manise, sorry. That is going to completely change the complexion of Heat 2 as Chris sort of limps his way through the pits. Why is it not recognizing? There we go. I was going to say, why is it not recognizing Travis as our new leader? still in the pits. Mikey needs back out, so he'll regroup at the rear of this field. Starting order, Travis McDonald, Von Mead, Brian Angel, Mike Menez. Travis McDonald is the latest contender to start alongside Chad Woodwell in at the feature. Hell Reaper, howdy. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I did see the little Steam notification in the corner of my eye just a second ago as well, so I appreciate you multitasking. Good luck with some of those 10-12s out there today, brother. Off we go. The remainder of Heat 2 to be run out here. It says 6 or 7, but I believe that will extend once we get to the start-finish line. Looks like Mikey mixed it there. No, sorry, the 777 of Von Mead. The 36 on the leaderboard, 777 on our screens. Looks like him and the 7 Brian Angel almost had a bit of contact there. That will be a 7-lap heat as we get to the white flag lap as we come into 3 and 4 for the final time. Yeah, Travis McDonald is going to get it done. Von Mead looks like he'll be in second. Brian Angel and Mike Menez battling it out there for 3rd and 4th though. All right, Chris Standridge finishing in 6th place for Outcast Racing. 5th place is Mikey Mixed. The Team Southern Sim Racing's Mike Menez in 4th. Yoda Outlaws Brian Angel in 3rd. Mediocre Racing's Von Mead got 2nd. But Travis McDonald will line up on the front row of our feature race here tonight. As he got the win in the 2nd heat alongside the Heat 1 winner, Chad Puttable. All right, let's get to the grid for our 3rd and final heat. For the night, John Bennett, Jason Coffey on that front row. Mike Davis and Richard Jackson on that 2nd row. Brett Vanderwood and Jonathan Foxworth will be on that 3rd and final row. But it does look like, I don't know if I'm mistaken, but I don't believe Jonathan Foxworth is on the track. No, he's not. All right. Not sure if it's me or not, but audio is quiet. So is the voice loud, but the racing's a little bit quieter than the car audio? Because I have trouble with those levels all the time. So let me know and I'll bring up whichever one I need to bring up. Both are quiet. Okay, that might be you. So I was having a listen earlier and I thought it sounded like, while I hate hearing my own voice, it did sound loud. I have to have my phone up to my ear to hear. Wow, yeah, that's weird. I don't know then. Because the levels are hitting yellow on my side, so they're as loud really as I'd like them to go. Should probably get over to one of these other cams. It makes it a little bit easier to see. Oh, John Bennett's gone to the rear. Okay, we've got a different grid. So John's gone to the rear of the heat as well. Jason Coffey, Mike Davis, front row, Richard Jackson, Brett Vanderwood. Jonathan Bennett is at the rear of field there. Jason Coffey off to a great start there. Mike Davis, Richard Jackson, John Bennett, Brett Vanderwood, Jonathan Foxworth did not take the field. It does say he's out, so I hope he's just getting things sorted for the feature race. If not, we wish him the best of luck, and hopefully we'll see him in the sprint cars after this one. 7 of Jason Coffey, our race leader there. Mike Davis, John Bennett, second and third. Richard Jackson, Brett Vanderwood running out that 5-car field. Last lap of our heat races for the late models. Still got some heat races coming for the sprint cars after this next feature race. This is our last late model heat race right now. It's good to Jason Coffey getting the victory. We'll go straight to the results. We know Jonathan Foxworth finished in 6th, did not take the track. Finishing in 5th place, so Brett Vanderwood. Richard Jackson in 4th, John Bennett 3rd, Mike Davis 2nd, but Jason Coffey taking out the victory here in Heat 3. All right, we know John Bennett will go to the rear of field. That should make the grid pretty easy to go through up the front, but we'll work it out as we go down. All right, front row will be Chad Puttable and Travis McDonald. Jason Coffey and Randy Dixon on that second row. Third row is going to be Von Mead and Mike Davis. Josh Roberts and Brian Angel will be on that 4th row. 5th row is going to be Mike Moniz and Dawson Potter. Richard Jackson and Wayne Bridges on the 6th row. 7th row is going to be Mikey Mixter and Brett Vanderwood. Callum McKellen and Chris Standridge on that 8th row. 9th row will be John Bennett and Jonathan Foxworth if he does line up, but I believe it'll just be John Bennett. Yeah, just double check the volume on my side, Hell Ripper, and yeah, it's sort of it seems okay for me. That's weird. Pacetrack's going to finish rolling around the track. We're going to get this 35-lap main event underway in just a moment. This is the Grassroots Racing Series. We are currently in the limited late models here at Oswego Speedway, Oswego, USA. We still have the Lanier National Speedway round of the 360 sprint cars to come next. Thomas Dennis there. Oh, that's right. Thomas is a Dirt Warrior Racing fan. That's right. I remember now. Off we go and racing. Looks like they got through those turns rather well to get up to speed. Well, no, I say that, and then there's a little bit of a caught up action there, and a bit of a crash. So we're just going to reset, get this one lined back up. Like Mikey Mixter, Brett Vanderwood, Kelly McKenna, Christina Dawson, Potter, John Bennett, a number of cars getting caught up in that one. Alright, sorry about that. Just sorting out my cough. Oh my gosh. Alright. So we're about to get this one going again. Alright, look at that long infield line there. One of those cars that were involved in that incident there. About the first 3 rows of double file, then everything's single file back as we get this one back underway. We'll need to wait until that leaderboard sort of settles out a bit before we can try and work out where everyone is. Starting wise, Chad put the ball up high, gets into the wall there. That's going to allow Travis McDonald potentially a run along the bottom there. Randy Dixon's up there with Bond Mead and John Bennett in that top 5. Chris Standridge, George Potter, Josh Roberts, Wayne Bridges, Mikey Mixter, Keller McKellen, Brett Vanderwood, Jason Coffey, Richard Jackson, Michael Mead, Brian Andrew, Michael Davis, Jonathan Hogwood did not take the track. 17 cars here tonight. Racing up the front for the time being. John's got that race car into the race lead. Chad is in second, so he will not let that go without a fight. See the longest line as down that front stretch. With Josh Roberts there, Chris Standridge up ahead of him. Looks like Bond Mead and John Bennett as well. There's Dawson Potter, Mikey Mixter, Keller McKellen. Crash up the back of the field we did see. I haven't seen anything come up on the my relative though, on my telemetry, sorry. Looks like it was able to keep it going there. So just inside the top 10 here with Dawson Potter, our focus. That is the 44 late model. Josh Roberts is in the 42, the 77 just behind him, Mikey Mixter. 42 gets into the wall, the 44 gets into him. They're going to hook up. Looks like most of the other cars did manage to get by them. So it looks like it'll just be Dawson and Josh affected by that particular incident. Give me one moment, guys, I'm going to grab this. KC McLean coming in with the like. Thank you so much, brother. Sorry about the dead air there as that next caution comes out. We'll just leave it on the static cams and reset. Some of you may remember coming up on the anniversary of my little brother's passing. Now the Knuckleheadz boys, just after he did pass, we put a race together and we did a memorial for him and raised some money for the family. And yeah, so the anniversary that's coming up. So we're looking at organising a plaque to put down at the area where his ashes have been spread. So I just had to take that call about that information. Love the ones you're with, folks, because you never know when they're not going to be around. 2 years, I think it is now. And yeah, 2 years. Year, sorry. So hard to judge time and grief and things like that. But yeah, still not used to not hearing him out the back and shit. Sorry to get a bit morbid there. But just get back to the races. Lap 12 of 35, our first of 2 feature races here today. Grassroots Racing Series for the Knuckleheadz iRacing League. We've got the pro late models. Sorry, the limited late models. These are limited lates, Bob. These are the lower class of late models. So there's 3 classes of late models. There's limiteds, pros, and supers. These ones are the limited models. So the lesser engines than the more powerful supers and things like that. All right. Looks like Chad Putterball might be, oh no, I think Travis might have taken the high line. Chad Putterball does officially have the pole position restart spot in the restart here, but I believe Travis has picked that high line and he's going to race that as we start this 2 wide race, lap 13 of 35. Chad off to a great start there. Let's just try and get to those camps quickly. Watch this race play out. Chad Putterball, Travis McDonald, Randy Dixon, John Bennett, Brett Vanderwood is the top 5. John Bennett, points leader, has made it past a number of cars. So 13 other vehicles. KC McLean driving it back home from a softball tournament, or I would be there. Mate, you've got about 20 laps until the practice of the 15 minutes until the practice session for 360 sprints open up. I expect to see you out there on that track now. How was the softball tournament? Did the kids do well? Well, it looks like there has been a change in the lead while I was talking with KC McLean. Travis McDonald's put his car back up in that race lead. John Bennett might be also getting past Chad Putterball there, moving him back to 30s. He's on the low line. Looks like he might have settled back in behind. No, he didn't. Still down that low line. I thought he came up the line a little bit there. Randy Dixon, he's there as well. So John's got to worry about that as well as trying to fight his way up to Chad. See that slick starting to shine, that sun setting. It is really causing a lot of brightness off the track. That has got to be obscuring some vision. So let's get into the let's have a look and see what it's like from Chad's point of view in the car. This is what it looks like from Chad. So the brightness of the sun, the dirt, the parts of your vision the car itself takes up. 3 hours away, they came in 3rd. Congratulations, that's a pretty good effort. 3 hours away. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night then. I forget that. See, I live in Tasmania. We can drive from one end of the state to the other in about that time easily. Sometimes you can probably get up and back again in about 3 hours, a bit over 3 hours. So hearing you guys driving 3 to 8 hours to do anything just blows my mind. I could not imagine being in a car that long, even being in a plane. I've never been in a vehicle that long, I don't think. Let's jump back around the track. We'll come back 21 to 35. We'll come back and keep an eye on the leaderboard and the gap there of Chad Puterball and Travis McDonald, just in case. Back to the 53 of that is sorry, Richard, I forgot your name. No, I didn't forget your name, I just forgot how to actually say it, apparently. Richard Jackson, Nerd Herd Racing. 77 to Mikey Mixter up there ahead of him. Mike Davis, Mike Moniz as well. Oh, Jesus. I just got jump scared. Oh, my God. So, if you are watching on Twitch, we do have a points system. You can earn channel points, and you can redeem them for fun little sound effects and things like that. And I would like to thank Hellreaper for that jump scare, you bastard. Shouldn't be 10-12ing with recruits or something. There's Chris Standridge back there just outside the top 10 in 12th. He's got Richard Jackson, Mikey Mixter up there ahead of him, Brett Vanderwood, Mike Davis as well. No inductions have been hosted. I thought inductions would be done at 9 p.m. this morning. Normally they're done first thing. It's normally a decent group. Weird. Alright, looks like Travis getting that lead out to almost a second on Chad Puterball. Randy Dixon, sorry, is back there as well, about half a second back. John Bennett is about 2 seconds behind Travis McDonald in 4th place. Dawson Potter 3.7. Krusty Krab 48 machine there, Kelly McKellen. What is the secret ingredient? It's crab, isn't it? It's crab. And that's the whole point. It's all like, stuff. Sorry, SpongeBob lore, I apologise. Where are we? Lap 28 to 35. Only about 6 or 7 laps remain. Travis extending that lead over Chad and Randy. Well, the action's a little bit deeper in the field here around this 13th to top 8th place. A bit of contact there, the 48, the 22. There's a lot of checking up going on. I think they managed to settle it down before there was any major issues, thank goodness. A little bit of a freeze. A couple of laps to remain. It's quite a dusty track. Visibility would be very, very tricky out there. Jason Coffey, Richard Jackson in at the pits. 50 cars on the track. We jump up to Travis McDonald. He's just about getting to his final 2 laps of this race. Has suffered a little bit of damage there on that front left. Wonder if that, I wonder if that's impacting him, but he's clearly out to 20.4 seconds. So I feel like whatever it's done, it's freed up that left front wheel to really bite. Although it looks like it is getting a bit loose. Oh, no, he was dodging another car there. If we get a caution out on that just before the white flag lap. Green white checking to finish this one out. What happened there? Something happened with Travis and Chad Puttable there. Travis, I'm not sure if he was checking up or something, but a little bit of contact. He got turned all the way around. Having trouble getting that race car turned back around the right direction. Wonder if he lost acceleration. Chad obviously right behind him, nowhere to go, not realizing that was what was going to happen. A little bit of more front end damage for Travis there. So Travis moving his way up into that lead position. Chad back to second, John back to third. Off we go, racing again. Because it is a green-white checkered finish, white flag, green flag lap to get up to speed, white flag lap to finish this race off. We're going to stay right at the front of this race because we are in a three-way battle for the lead right now. Travis McDonald, Chad Puttable, Randy Dixon. I think Chad Puttable might need to throw Randy Dixon a bottle of whiskey or something because he has just challenged Travis McDonald. That's caused Travis to fall right back down to about fifth place. Chad Puttable will take out the late model race. What a victory. Let's get to our results. What a finish. Holy cow. Looks like it's going to be a three-wide run. All right, Jonathan Foxworth did not take the track, so the B-Main Bandit 36 laps down will officially finish in 18th spot. Thank you, Sith Wilson on Twitch, for the follow. Appreciate it. Hope you liked what you saw there. Richard Jackson, Nerd Herd Racing, 17th. RCI's Jason Coffey finished in 16th. Yoda Outlaws, Brian Angel, 15th. Von Mead from Mediocre Racing in 14th. Kellen McKellen and Wayne Bridges. Mikey Mixer, 13th, 12th, and 11th. The top 10, Outcast Racing's Chris Standridge and in 10th, and Yoda Outlaws of teammate Brett Vanderwood in 9th. Mike Davis from Mo Digging Mafia in 8th. J&J Motorsports Josh Roberts in 7th. Team Southern Sim Racing's Mike Moniz finished 6th. 5th was Travis McDonald, and 4th from Swamp Ass Randy Dixon. KHR's very own Dawson Potter took out 3rd place. Our points leader in J&J Motorsports and BAM Motorsports driver John Bennett finished 2nd, but the YouTube chat says it all. Vicky Schuler, wow. Dirt Warrior Racing's Chad Puttable takes out our victory here tonight. He was looking strong at the start. Travis did get that car into the lead and looked like he was going to be hard to beat. But as I say, Randy Dixon, I think, deserves some flowers for that one. Let's get Chad's deets up on the screen. Let's go have a chat to him, see how he feels about that one. All right, so started pole position in the feature. A couple of restarts. Travis McDonald did manage to get that car in front and start to build a bit of a lead. We thought it might have been out of your hands at that stage there, Chad. But I said right there at the end, I feel like you've got to send some pizza, some beers, some money, something Randy Dixon's way, because that three-wide battle off of that restart, I think, is very much what kept Travis at bay and sort of didn't allow him to sort of get that start he wanted. Allowed you to get off to that lead and ultimately take out that checkered flag. How you feeling? That must have been a pretty damn exciting run.
That was probably one of the funnest races we've done in a long time, and I started up front there and I smacked that wall and got some damage on the front end. Let Travis get by me, and it, I don't know how to explain it. That was just probably one of the best races we've had.
It was crazy, and it was funny because I was looking at Travis for a while he was in the lead, and he had suffered some front left damage um, prior in the race, and I was wondering, oh, okay, maybe that might be the sort of advantage for you to start dragging him back in. But he actually was that's when the gapping was really starting to go from like that high one, the mid ones to up to almost 2 seconds, things like that. And I don't know. I think it was one of those lucky. I remember once I crashed my dirt street stock and it was pulling to the direct one direction, and this old race car driver in the race said, "Look, just smash the other side into the wall. It'll straighten it out." And I didn't realize he was joking. I thought he was giving me advice, and I did it, but it did. It straightened it out, and I feel like Travis had a similar thing with that front left damage. Allowed him to really set that's like to really just the car just set no matter what. So I think that just sort of gave him the advantage of being able to hit those marks. But then, yeah, that restart. I mean, not to discredit John Bennett as well as Dawson Potter. They were up there in the shot. There was a couple of guys that really could have capitalized from that restart, but it just depended on which order you front three were sort of standing, middle, low or high, and thank God that you went high on that start. Um,
Well, I didn't have much of a
yeah, I
choice.
was going to say not much of a choice, but one of those rare moments where the high line works out for second place, definitely.
Well, my car, I had the damage, and every time I tried to go low, I was pushing real hard.
Mm.
So the only way I could get around fast was on the high line. And when they opened up that high line for me on that last restart, it was just like, thank you. That was the only shot I had. But on that last restart, I was kind of joking around with Travis like we do in the street stocks, and I went up, kind of bump him in the butt, and man, I barely tapped him, and I spun him and shot him to the
Like,
wall. I felt
yeah,
so
yeah.
bad about that.
So what did he just lift the gas a little bit more than he was expecting? Than both you, I guess, were expecting, and it just looked like he just sort of, yeah, it didn't look
Well,
like you'd.
we don't have any mirrors on tonight,
Ah,
and he didn't know I was there, and I come up and give him a little love tap, and
yep.
he hit the wall, and I felt bad about it. But um, hey, it was a fun race, man.
Uh,
Hopefully we can pull one off in the 360s.
well, yeah, off to the Lanier National Speedway next. Now that track is one of those few tracks on the sim that is racy, regardless of what you race on it. So it's going to be interesting. Out of the eight, well, there's 18 registered drivers, 17 on the track here tonight. How many of those carry over? We do know generally back in the normal seasons that there's sometimes a bit of a crossover with the late models and the sprint cars. We'll lose a couple and then we'll gain a couple in the sprint cars. So I expect to see guys like Tom and Matthew Land and stuff as well. But then you'll see some of those other guys in this race, like Chris Standridge and the like, Brian Angel, that are showing to be a bit of a gun in those sprint cars, and that they'll be up a little bit higher. There'll be a bit more competition up the front for everyone. So a bit of pressure on you. Not to mention, we do know that you do come from a sprint car family, so pressure to perform virtually over at Lanier. Do you think with the win in this one, you've got mum off the back?
I hope so. I hope so. So if we don't do too good in these 360s, maybe you should just leave me alone.
Should just just accept and take the good with the bad, Vic. Take the good with the no.
There you go.
But
But
no,
no, we're
awesome.
looking forward to it.
No, excellent, man. It's going to be a great race. I can't wait to see it happen. I do like the sprint cars and I do like Laniers, so I think yeah, it's going to be a great combo. But no, you guys made the late models, the limiteds. Limiteds are a bit of a tricky one to make look good, and you did. You guys all made them look very competitive. As I say, three wide racing, a lot of two wide racing, off of those restarts. Deep down the field, it was a great race for everyone. There's a lot of really good one-on-one battles all throughout the field. There wasn't really any shortness of exciting stuff to watch, whether it was you guys up the front or if we spent a lot of time in that 8th to 12th spot, that 8th to 12th, that top five in that, so that those five in that slot there, highly competitive. You could highlight that and people would think it was 1 to 5 the way they race. Best of
Well,
luck. Sorry, what was you going to say?
thank you. I just say that's the one thing about this group of guys at Knuckleheads. Anybody can win on any given night. It's just who gets lucky in the qualifying and avoids the mishaps.
Yeah.
But anybody out there can win them. The only thing about the next race is why are we running wings? I hate the wings.
And that is a good point. We have had the both the midgets and the wingless sprints, and you guys have made those look a lot easier to drive than the winged versions. We know that the wing's there for aerodynamics. It's meant to assist you in driving that car better. But no, you're right. You guys have put on a better show in sort of the wingless. Well, not a better show, but an even crazier show in the wingless ones, which is just mad for someone like you to say, yeah, why aren't we in the wingless ones? Because yeah, that's just I don't know who anyone would want to willingly race one of those cars. All right, my man. Look, well, best of luck. The session's just about to open, so I'll let you go get all the legs stretching and drinks and everything done before you get out there and practice and get some times on the board. But before we let you go, obviously, team, friends, family, sponsors goes by into everything we do to make this possible. Who do you need to give a shout out to for the
First
victory?
off, you, Bob, for doing the broadcast. Do a great job every week, and glad to have you with us. And
Thank you.
the guys over at Knuckleheadz for putting us on. They put on some good shows, and I know there's a lot of, I don't want to say unappreciated, but a lot of times there's stuff going on behind the scenes that we as drivers just don't know about. So thanks to them. And BladeNo.com, Pooty Graphics, Grumpy Graphics, iRacing iFlags, BCR Sim Motorsports, 304 Roots, JD Trucking, Junk Fabrication, Shula Chassis, all the guys over on my team at Team DWR, Dirt Panda for coming on board with us, and all the fans and followers.
Awesome, man. Well, look, best of luck with the sprint cars. We'll have you back up on our screens in literally minutes. So we'll keep an eye on the times during practice, and we'll see if you can get it back to back.
Hey, we're going to give it a shot.
That's it. No pressure, brother. No pressure. Congratulations yet again. Good talking, and we'll see you on the screens again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, that was our Victor there, chat football for Dirt Warrior Racing. Vicky in the chat. I doubt it. Yeah, Vicky. She is. I kind of feel the same pressure Chad feels as from a broadcasting sense. Like you don't want to make Vicky mad. You don't want to disappoint her. You just want to make sure you put on a good show. And number one fan, Vic. Love having you around. Easily my favorite part of the whole Dirt Warrior pickup in the league. All right, guys and girls. Yeah, look, that wraps up our first half of our feature racing here tonight for the Grassroots Racing Series, limited late models at Oswego Speedway. We're going to jump over to the practice session for the 360 sprints at Lanier National Speedway. That's in Braselton, USA. But I just have to load into that session. So we'll take a short break and we'll be back soon.
Prime, the lights go low. The crowd is roaring. Time to go. Thank you for joining. The spotlight's aglow. Welcome to the show, BobbethTV. Let's roll. Bob on the mic, the voice of the night, calling every lap under fierce floodlight. Mud flies, engines scream, white knuckle drivers chase their dream. Hearts pounding loud and raw. Bob calls it all with a thunderous roar. There goes battle is tight. Who will rise in the heat of the night? The finish line's near, we're on the edge.
All right, we are back in that other session, so we'll just get that flick over to the practice and bring some quick info as to what's going on. Check for sunset. All right, so we are going to continue our broadcast with the Grassroots Racing Series 360 Sprint Cars here at Lanier National Speedway, Browston, USA. We have, looks to be around 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cars currently registered for this practice session. Rob is currently 11.678, quick time 11.723, Chris Standridge, Brian Angel 11.858. We'll start to see more cars register and get some times on the track. All right, I'm going to have a quick break, but we'll leave you with our practice session. Back shortly. No, I've been on. I've just having a small. I was literally just coming back now. KC asks in the Facebook check, Bob, are you muted? No, I was meant to come back a bit sooner than this, but I just hadn't got back. We are live again. Qualifying is up and running here at the Lanier National Speedway round of the Grassroots Racing Series for the Knuckleheadz iRacing League. Shrubgod is in the chat as well. Welcome, Shrubs. Griff was here for the first bit of the earlier race this morning, and now we've got my buddy Shrubgod in the chat. We'll give him a little shout out. First race was limited late models at Oswego Speedway. That man right there on your screens, the 20 Chad Putabol, he was our winner of that race. Currently, Chris Standridge quick time in qualifying, 11.647. Chris is always my sort of go-to pick for the sprint cars. He's quite good in them. It's just sort of the luck of the draw how the race goes, really. John Bennett is our current points leader of the Grassroots Racing Series. Currently running at 12.483. We've got 16 cars here tonight. It does look like the majority of the late model field coming over. Couple of names I'd sort of expect to see when it's sprint cars. The Land family, Tom and Matthew Land, don't appear to be here. Actually, let's just see if there's no times on the board for some people. No, everyone, all 16 guys have registered. All right, I guess qualifying is done. All 16 cars have qualified. We'll just go through the order as quickly as we can. So qualifying first, Chris Standridge. Second, John Bennett. Mike Mears qualified third. Chad Putabol in fourth. Fifth, Josh Roberts. Brett Vanderwood, Von Mead, Dawson Potter, Wayne Bridges, Richard Jackson, 6 to 10. The 11 to 16, Kelly McKellen, Brian Angel, Travis McDonald, Mike Davis, Henry Roslowski, who is joining us in the sprints for the first time tonight. Was not in the late model race, and Jason Coffey in that 16th and final position. Last but certainly not least, as we know, in the feature race, John Bennett will be going to the rear. So it doesn't matter where you finish, you will not be starting last in this race. All right, Chad Putabol, Chris Standridge on that front row. That is going to be a Heat 1 battle and a half. It's going to be Richie Jackson and Von Mead on that second row. Jason Coffey and Travis McDonald should line up on that third row. Six cars on the track. The drill, a couple of laps around. And Pace Truck will leave the track, and we'll get this one underway. 6 laps per heat, 3 heats. 35 a lap, the feature race also to come. All right, there we go. Pace Truck's going to leave. We're about to get this one underway. Standridge, the pole position status will get a good run. Is no slouch on that inside line, especially if the track is tacky like it will be now at the start of the race. So he's going to get off to a good start. Chad Putabol back there in second. Von Mead third. Richard Jackson, Travis McDonald, Jason Coffey fourth, fifth, and sixth. Come around and start the last lap of the first half of this heat race. Oh, one of the sprint cars up into the wall. I believe that was... Oh, why is the track that? At their positions like the Carnivals. So it might have been Bond Mead falling back down the pack a little bit. Lap 4 of 6 is done. Just 2 to go here as Chris Standridge races out to this potentially feature starting at run. Woodchuck will be forced to do it from the second row here in the feature. Certainly not a bad start at the least. Dorse, thank you, Dawson Potter. That is a name that I don't see out on the track in sprint cars. It's Chris annihilates his sprint car before Chad has a chance to do so and completes heat 1. Results are as follows. RCI's Jason Coffey in 6th. Mediocre Racing's Von Mead in 5th. Travis McDonald 4th. Richie Jackson from Nerd Herd Racing 3rd. Dirt Warrior Racing's Chad Putterball in 2nd. And Outcast Racing's Chris Standridge will win heat 1. And we'll take out the feature start in the 35 lap feature race here tonight. Who's going to join him on that outside row? I can't get the cameras up to the cars apparently. There we go. John Bennett, Josh Roberts, teammates, J&J Motorsports teammates on the front row. Dawson Potter and Kelly McKellen. You are on the track. You're lucky, Dawson. On that second row, and then Mike Davis. Okay, so it must be 2 5-car heats maybe. Mike Davis from Mo Digging Mafia on that third and final row. Knuckleheadz iRacing Leagues competition. 360 sprint cars here at Lanier National Speedway. John Bennett off to a great start. Now, this is where it gets interesting because I believe if John Bennett wins, he'll go to the rear of field at the start, and that should promote Chad Putterball back up to the front row with Chris Standridge. So this is going to be a very interesting finish. You almost want Josh to win it, if you were John. John Bennett's going to get that checkered flag there, take out the victory. So we'll qualify on the front row, but we'll take rear of field. And that is pretty much, I'm pretty certain that is going to bring Chad back up to the front row. We're going to have a Heat 1 rematch between Chad and Chris Standridge on the front row of our feature race. But the results for this one, Heat 2, Kelly McKellen in 5th, Mo Digging Murphy's Mike Davis in 4th, KHR's very own Dawson Potter in 3rd, and J&J Motorsports 1 and 2. 2 was Josh Roberts, 1 John Bennett. We better get over to the grid. Let's just get to there, and then there, and then there. Come on. Just does not want to grab a camera. There we go. I think we got it. All right, Heat 3, our final heat before we get to our second and last feature for the night. Mike Muniz and Brett Vanderwood on that front row. Wayne Bridges, Brian Angel, second row. Third row is going to be Henry Rozlowski. KC McLean, Josh Day be making my teammate look bad. You need to get on to John and get him to update his SDK so it says BAM Motorsports. It's gone back to J&J Motorsports, mate. Just saying. truck left the track. Packed house here tonight to watch this 360 race as we get going. Good start there by Mike Menees. Brett Vanderbilt back there in second. Brian Angel, Wayne and Bridges, Henry Roslowski, the 5-car field. Action, get a few of those extra cars in. There's Brett Vanderwood, Yoda Outlaws driver, really putting the efforts there against Mike M Designs 30. Mike Menees, Team Southern Sim Racing. 2 laps remain. So these two are battling pretty fiercely, but you got to think Mike Menees has what looks to be the more in control sprint car as we get to the white flag lap. KC's pulling for Wayne. Have it. Heat 3 is done. Looks like Wayne Bridges will be lining up alongside. Oh no, Henry's in the pit lane, so he might be lining up alongside John Bennett in the feature race at the rear of field there. But the grid, I'm pretty sure with John moving to the back, it's going to put Chad and Chris back on that front row for the Heat 1 rematch, which I'm really excited to see. Let's have a look at some results for Heat 3 before we get to that one, though. Henry Roslowski and Wayne Bridges 5th and 4th. Yoda Outlaws got the 3rd and 2nd slots. Brian Angel and Brett Vanderwood, Team Southern Sim Racing's Mike Menees, though, congratulations, takes out the victory. As we start to grid up for our feature race here. Click the wrong button. There we go, the Grassroots Racing Series 360 sprint cars here at Lanier National Speedway. And it's going to be Chris Standridge and Chad Puttable on that front row. Second row is going to be Mike Menees and Brent Vanderwood. Josh Roberts and Dawson Potter on that 3rd row. 4th row will be Richard Jackson, Travis McDonald. 5th row, Brian Angel and Wayne at Bridges. 6th row will be Mike Davis and Kelly McKellen. 7th row will be Bond and Mead, Jason Coffey, Henry Roslowski, and John Bennett will be on that 8th and final row. You know he's gonna, yeah, I know. Yeah. Look, he's got enough on his plate. I give him enough grief about the stuff that that I shouldn't be giving him grief about. But no, all in love and jest. All right, 16 sprint cars, 35 laps, Lanier National Speedway. We are currently in week 5, round 1 of the 3 rounds for week 5. 11 weeks in this competition. Low line looks like it's losing the moisture. High line will be dominant for a while. Yeah, definitely starting to look that way, isn't it? A couple of guys stuck up in at the wall there. Who is that that's fallen down that field quite a distance? Well, it looks like caution has come out. There was a manual caution. I don't see it called on the telemetry. Oh, there's the yellow flag there. Let's see who crashed. Maybe Brent. Maybe Brent got into the wall on the start there, because I do see him dropping down the board a little bit. Go to, I believe, yeah. Oh, there's Brent up the top there. Yeah, Brent got stuck in the wall. And unfortunately, just had to let the low line guys go past him, but that also damage that he obtained, looks like it's caused him to take a good hard hit and head into the pits. So we'll get that all restacked. Chris and Chad can resume their battle on the front row. straight back out. Looks like the sprint car's having a bit of trouble getting up to speed. Chad crashing that? Let's have a look here. Kelly McCallum. Just trying to see what might have happened here. That's the contact, the caution, the 79 and the 48. Josh. It's the 42 on our screen. Looking like between the 20 and 30. Ah, yeah, so there was a bit of a bigger crash up the front of the track. Unfortunately, that is going to have ramifications for that front row. Right, off we go. Gets going quickly as that caution came back out. We are live again. Standridge, Jackson, Dawson, Brian, Andrew, Travis, McDonald, top 5. Let's see if we can get a green flag and run going. We're going to jump around the track and have a look at everything that's going on. There's the 20 and the 79. Henry Ross, let's get Chad to the ball. Happy with the cars off each other there. Pack of cars there ahead of the 88. Travis McDonald, that is the top 4. First, second, third, and fourth ahead of him. He is in the top 5 position. The caution has come out. Can't see where that crash occurred though. Oh, it looks like Chad jumped straight to the pit. So Chad put a ball, not having the luck he would like in the sprint cars here tonight. Lap 8 of 35, a number of cautions so far. The sprint cars, 360 sprints. Look, I have raced them, but don't enjoy racing them. They are a handful. Trucks left the track. We're going to get lap 8 of 35. We're about a fifth of the way into this race. Back under green flag action. Terrible camera. 22 and the 53. Richard Jackson, Chris Standridge, side by side battle. Oh, there's been some contact for the 7 and the 44 as the 7 slid his way up through the turn. That is most certainly going to be another caution. Stuck on the wall there, unable to break free. So you might either someone might ram him or tie him loose, but unlucky. back on the screens in just one moment. Ugh. Just gonna quickly give the animals some liquid. Now, apologies about that, as we are green flag racing 11 of 35. Standridge still our race leader. On me, Travis not rejected, gone better behind. There's someone in at the pits, coming out of the pits. So Chad Puttable has retired. Looks like Wayne Bridges, Dawson, and Potter both visiting the pits in that caution. From the kitchen. Caution it back out though. Let's see if we can see who it might be. Unfortunately not at this stage. Josh Roberts, Travis McDonald, Richard Jackson. Oh no, they're just going past pit lane. Just had a number of cars looking to enter pit lane there, but no, that's just the glitch where you pass the entrance to the pit lane, and it picks you up as if you're going to go in there, and thinks you're let's just stop for a bit. Coming up in the halfway mark almost. No caution, back out. Gotta get to this right hand caution spot there. 997 maybe, or then they come down to the doorstairs, Dawson there. Sprint cars proving to be hard to control at this stage. That is going to be, let's have a look, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, our 6th yellow flag for the sprint cars. Sprint cars are a bit of a difficult car to master. Be back in a sec. Sorry about that. All right. Sorry about that. I realized I hadn't had breakfast and I'm really hungry. It's like 11:15. I'm like, why am I so starving? Just haven't eaten yet, Bob. I'm trying to sneak the tunas and crackery. I thought I was muted when I was chewing then. You heard that? go. And racing again, Chris Standridge. Able to get off to a good start there. Gordon Mead, Travis McDonald, John Pettit, Richard Jackson, that top 5. Jason Coffey, Kelly McKellen. Wayne Bridges, Mike Menez, the top 10. Mike Davis, Brett Vanderwood, and Dawson. A pot of the 13 cars on the track. Looks like Josh Roberts has retired as long as Cheprakov. Henry Roslowski is at the pit exit, but I believe he's in the pit, sort of sitting there. Another caution has come out. Cars just circling around as they get ready to line back up. Looks like Henry Roslowski has joined the retired field. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. Yeah, you sort of get that car out there. You're clearly not a part of it because you're out in front of everything. But keep your cool. You don't want to get frustrated with that and then do something silly on a restart and have Von or Travis or John get past you and take the race lead. Von Mead absolutely outdoing himself with the car wraps again. I just saw this one. Let's see if we can't get it closer. It's a barn find. Look at that rusty old barn find, the old mud mule sticker on it. He outdoes himself with the different wraps from the different race cars and stuff. It's great. Chris Standridge, Von Mead, John Bennett. There's Travis McDonald, Richard Jackson just back there behind them. Jason Coffey flashing past our screen. That barn find had some life in it yet. John has got that low line working well, though. He's just gone to prove me wrong. There's John that moves up into second. The Heartbreaker in second. Chris Standridge first. Von Mead best seat in the house for that battle now. Really loving Von Mead and the barn find here. There we go. Back there in 12th place, trying to make his way past, I believe, Mike Menez. I know the 48 of Kelly McKellen, actually. Dawson a lap down. That's why that is. Or one of those three cars got a bit loose back there. That looked like going to lose control, but was able to keep it green. Oh, the 44 got loose, but got it into the pits. Right, Kelly McKellen in 8th place, right up there in front of him. That's Wayne Bridges in 7th. trying to close that distance down. A lot of dust kicking up at the moment. A lot of dirt. You see clay going everywhere. Almost 2 laps remain as they are coming up on lap traffic. Chris Standridge and John Bennett. Let's get off of these weird cancerous sex on the leader here. Chris Standridge, John Bennett. They are racing it out. John just about a little under, well, back 2-3 tenths of a second behind him right there. As Chris comes around for the final time. And he will hold off at the heartbreaker and get the checkered flag. Congratulations, Chris Standridge. Jinxed him last week. We had a sprint car race last week. And I was like, I like Chris in the sprints. And I genuinely do. I often, like, you'll hear of the broadcasters curse. So if you give someone too much props or sort of too much of a highlight, you can inadvertently curse them. But not this night. No. All right, let's get the results for the feature up. Huh. Damn it. So yeah, it looks like Chris not in the Discord at the moment. Oh no, there he is. I was going to say, it's like those award shows. I did say this prior, but I was muted. They're like the award shows where you get nominated, but you don't write a speech because you don't think you're going to win. I think that was the feeling for Chris. No, I'm joking. Congratulations, Chris. I didn't want to make it too public. But look, last week we had the sprint cars. This is no secret. I quite like your abilities in a sprint car. So I feel like I jinxed you a little bit last week. Tried not to jinx you too much this week, but you were my pick again, obviously. And able to get it done. It would have been a bit like a few cautions would have been frustrating, but that last one, pardon me, with John Bennett right there behind you, had to have been a little bit nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, he was way faster. He was going to beat me. Just lucky that it was a kind of a one-lane track there.
Now, talk us through the caution. Like, I imagine they're frustrating. Just obviously the number and the stopping and starting you up the front. You're not really a part of it. You don't really know what's sort of going on, so you can't speak on that side of it. But is it as frustrating as it seems, or was there some sort of comfort in the resetting, sort of being able to sort of look at a few different options, reset, try some other things? Did it benefit you more than it hindered you?
No, definitely hindered me. When the tackier the track is, the better I do. So I wanted to get the race over as quick as I could before the track wore out.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, a lot of cars still. I mean, we had 13, I think, at the end, 16 for a sprint car race in any division. I think it's a good lineup. That's crazy. A couple of the guys I know. I was looking forward to maybe I did broadcast a curse someone. I was looking forward to when I realised John was going to win the second heat. I knew that that meant that the feature start would be a rematch of Heat 1 of yourself and Chad. And I was like, that's kind of cool because Chad's the winner of the late models. You're pretty good in the sprint cars. It's going to be a good little battle up the front to see how that goes. Unfortunately, Chad sort of not having the race he wanted fell back. But what was that like? Comparing the Heat 1 sort of battle where the track is tacky and you're able to sort of run a lot more to your style versus that feature start. Were you a bit nervous having Chad up there?
Oh no, not at all actually, because Chad's like really clean and careful driver. He passes you clean.
Mm.
All I knew is I had to beat him, and if I didn't beat him, cool. He's just that good of a driver, so I just wanted to have fun.
Yeah, no, spot on. Definitely my creed as well. It's the guy if they're going to be if they're fast than you, they're going to beat you. If they're not, then you'll hold on. It's nothing to stress about. Just race and see where you are at the checkered flag. And like I say, when I saw that sort of it was about a half a second lead, and John got it down to I think about 2/10 at the end. Um, where I was sort of like, wow, he is coming. Yeah, like it's
Yeah, if he had got by me, he'd have beat me by like half a lap, I think.
it's,
So he
it's
was. We've always kind of been this way on sprint cars. I'll take off early, and the slicker the track gets, the faster he gets, and the
mm.
slower I get. He catches me and beats me usually. So I think he was just being nice, felt bad for me or something.
Now, unfortunately, you had missed a couple of races in the previous weeks just due to life and stuff. So you are sort of sitting around that top 5 mark. But coming up, what do we got tomorrow? It is the Monday, even though it's Monday right now. Stupid dates. So back to the limited lates in at Houston, and then the big blocks at Lernerville. So sort of a similar sort of a night of late models at a somewhat racy track for the limiteds, and then throwing you into a sort of a trickier track with a trickier car. The 360s here at Lanier will be big blocks tomorrow at Lernerville. So you can sort of expect, I guess, the same sort of weightedness in cautions. The Lernerville. I think you have to sort of add a natural 3 to 5 cautions into a race, any race at Lernerville, just because of that damn track. But are you looking forward to either one of those races tomorrow?
Oh, I love limited late models. I was running really good at Oswego, but I just had a lot of bad luck. So
Mm.
it's just what it was. But yeah, between first several seasons of racing we did, we always every week had a limited late model and sprint cars. So I got really good at those. And then when we went to more powerful stuff, I kind of fell back a little bit. But yeah, I always look forward to limited. On the big blocks, it's just going to be hold on and try not to die. So.
No, definitely could not agree more in that summation. Um, Big blocks, I find big blocks seem
Oh,
scary,
fun, yeah.
but they're a lot. If you can keep them straight, they can be somewhat straightish. They can be quite fun and where we were at it's at Lernerville, so it's one of those tracks. Actually, it's going to be interesting to see how 3 and 4 set because obviously big blocks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but car you wouldn't set on an angle traditionally too much, whereas 3 and 4 at Lernerville, if you can get that right rear up on that burn and sort of hook it, you get a great run down the front stretch. So it's going to be interesting to see who does what and how they do it. It's going to be some great racing tomorrow.
Yeah, I would changing cars. They do a great job with this series. It's so much fun to run different things, and we've had almost a different winner almost every single race. So it's been pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, yep. And we're seeing some double ups on victories. We're seeing a lot of guys that are in the top 5. Or even just outside the top 5 with no victories, but right there in points because of that consistent top 5, top 3 finish. So I think, as I've said a lot over the grassroots series, there's a lot there for everyone. There's a lot there that really doesn't speak for everyone. There's a bit of a mixture of everything. There's for every track that you don't like or combo that you don't like, there's going to be someone in the division that absolutely loves that combo or that car or that
Oh, yeah,
track. It's great. It keeps you all on your toes at any one time. And yeah, like we say, consistently John Bennett running away with it a little bit too much. We need to do something about that. But no one's really had a competitive stranglehold over each individual race, which is what we want to see. We want to see the guys that sort of aren't commonly challenging, sort of giving them their moment to shine. And Von Mead, Jason Coffey, Richard Jackson's another one that's been doing absolutely great guns. I kind of wish Tom Land was here because he has been a completely different driver in the grassroots series. and really putting their competition in. And it's just a credit to all of you, like you say, the Chads and everyone, the clean drivers, the guys that share those little bits of info, sort of just give a helping hand. You don't have to teach them everything you know, but teach them, everything they know, type of thing. And it just makes for a better driver. You're only as good as your competition as well. So, yeah, you want that competition improving as you go along. All right, my man. Well, look, congratulations. I'm glad. I'm so eternally happy that I did not jinx you on this victory. It was.
Appreciate it too.
I know with all those cautions, they could. Every caution is just it's just one of those painful resets that once you can sort of get past that little bit, and settle back in, you can sort of ease. The knuckles can get the color back into them, but it looked
I
like there was
thought
a lot of.
my screen blacked out on me about like 4 or so. Like I got a nice little lead and then it blacked out in the middle of the turn. I'm like, oh crap! And then I gave up the lead to Jackson, Richard, I think, and
Yep.
I thought, here we go again, and then just got kind of lucky. So
You got the Bobbeth luck this time instead of the curse, thankfully. So no, congratulations, man. Welcome to the winners board. Look, obviously I'll have you back in the booth anytime. That part is up to you. But with the way the combos are set, anybody each week, over the 5 races each week, can be up here. It's a really tough one to sort of to lock in those victories, but we'll have you up in the booth whenever we can, man. Friends, family, and sponsors, though, who do you need to give a shout out to for making all this possible?
Shouting out to my wife, who's been very patiently waiting for me. We got to run to the store, so I got to get there as quick as I can here.
Excellent. Big ups to Mrs. Standridge, the crew chief of Outcast Racing. No, but no, congratulations, man. We'll see you on our screens again tomorrow night in all seriousness, and best of luck. Can't wait to talk to you again soon.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks, Chris. Bye. All right, we will let Chris go. We know how important the wife's boss, Minister of War and Finances, can be in our lives. So keeping them happy, happy wife, happy life is the phrase. Look, thank you so much for tuning in. I believe I'll have to check in with Shrubs, but I believe Split Fiction. It's a co-op sort of platformer game that Shrubgod, and myself have been. He's upgraded from Lord to God. Have been playing on Monday nights on Twitch via BobbethTV. So definitely, follow the page at the very least if you want to come along and check that out. It should be good for a stream tonight. Awesome. There's the confirmation. So that will be in approximately 9-ish hours away, 9.5 hours away, thereabouts, 10 hours maybe. But yeah, definitely come along and check that out. I'll be back again tomorrow, as I said, for the return of the late models and the big blocks. And then we'll be back again Wednesday morning Australian, Tuesday night American for the, let me just do my time conversion, the midgets at Weed Sports. So Chad Porterball getting his wish, one last run this week in a wingless sprint car, so to speak. Well, look, thank you so much for tuning in, guys and girls. Really appreciate you all. Shrubs, KC, who else was in the chat? Vicky Schuler, of course. Thomas Dennis, Hell Reaper, Griff. Can't forget Griff. And also for the likes and the shares and the follows, Dawson, Mike, Sith Wilson, KC McLean, Robbo, Kelly McKellen, Josh Roberts, and Thomas Dennis. Thank you so much for the support, guys and girls. We will wrap it up here, but till tomorrow, you know the drill. Love yous all. Boy.